I'm Georgia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own Taylor Swift blank space cake. If you're new here, my channel is dedicated to my healthy recipes. I share mostly plant-based recipes and generally just my life here in Asia. So I am fairly new to YouTube. I've only just recently started uploading all of my TikToks to YouTube, and one of my TikToks, which was the Taylor Swift blank space cake, went somewhat viral, and that's probably where a lot of you have come from. So this inspired me to make a YouTube video showing you exactly how to make the cake. So overnight I clocked over to 1,000 subscribers, which I didn't think I would be able to achieve on YouTube, but here we are. Thank you to all of you that have subscribed. It means the world to me. Because I don't have a microphone yet, I wasn't able to make the recipe and talk, so I'm just going to talk into my headphones like this and show you how to make the recipe. So before we get stuck into the recipe, let me show you the Taylor Swift film clip of the exact cake that I'm talking about. So play. So I'm just going to stop there so you can see there that she has the white cake. She's in black with her red lip, which is what I've tried to copy. And when she stabs it, let's press play. All right, so let's get stuck into it. Before we get started, I just wanted to show you my outfit, my hair, and my makeup, all which are 1989 era inspired. All right, let's start cooking. There are 3 parts to making this recipe. There's the cake, the buttercream frosting, and then the bloody interior. I'm going to really quickly show you my favorite vanilla cake recipe. However, you can use whatever cake recipe you want really for the cake. All you need to make sure is that you have 2 exact layers the same. The recipe that I use is free of eggs and dairy, which makes it suitable for vegans. There you go. You can pause this part of the video to write down all the ingredients. To make a vegan buttermilk, all you need to do is add apple cider vinegar to the soy milk. Mix it well and then let it sit for 10 minutes for it to curdle. The recipe calls for 1 cup of yogurt, so I don't have any yogurt at the moment because yogurt's not really available, or at least dairy-free yogurt is not really available where I live, so I'm just going to blend up 1 packet of silken tofu. I'm also going to add in some maple syrup to the tofu so it mimics store-bought yogurt as much as possible. To make the cake, add all of the dry ingredients to a bowl, excluding the sugar, and then mix well. Next, you're going to cream the butter and the sugar. I used a very coarse-grained sugar, so it was not that light and fluffy, but it was okay. Also, add in your vanilla extract and the yogurt and continue to mix. This is the buttermilk, which you can see has thickened quite a lot. So now you're going to add half of the buttermilk and half of the dry ingredients to the mix and continue to combine, scraping down the sides as needed. Finally, add in the rest of the dry mix and the buttermilk and continue to mix until combined. And again, keep scraping down those sides. And then that is the batter. Yum, it looks really good. You can see that my lipstick has come off a bit because I have for sure been licking the bowl and it tastes good. Now you're going to grease 2 identical pans and bake the cakes at 180 degrees or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 35 minutes. So if you have heart-shaped baking tins, this step would be a lot easier. But alas, I do not. Which means I will just cut a love heart shape later once the cakes are baked and cooled. Now we're going to make the fake blood. In the original video, I used dragon fruit juice as well as cherry juice, which gave it that really dark purple reddish color. But in the comments, a lot of you said that you don't have access to dragon fruit juice, so this time I'm using all cherry juice to show you what that looks like. Heat the cherry juice and the sugar on a stovetop until the sugar is completely dissolved, and then once the liquid is fully cooled, pour it into a squeezy bottle and then squeeze it into the balloons. If you want a big blood explosion, make sure there are no air bubbles in the balloon and that it is completely full. Now it's time to make the buttercream frosting. For the buttercream frosting, you can either use shortening or butter or a combination of both. Because I live in a tropical country and it is really hot, I use 100% shortening for the outer layer of the cake. This is to prevent the cake from melting as well as giving it that bright white color. However, using butter is much more tastier than shortening. So what I like to do is make a buttercream frosting with just butter and then also make a buttercream frosting with just shortening. You can see the shortening on the right is that bright white color, whereas the butter on the left is yellow. Once the cake has been baked, it's best to let it cool completely and even store it in the fridge for 2 hours or overnight. The reason for this is that cutting the love heart is much easier when the cake is cold, and spreading the buttercream frosting when the cake is cold is also ideal. Because I was in a hurry, I'm doing this with a semi-warm cake, which is not recommended. You can see that it is crumbling quite a bit. You can also see that the buttercream has completely melted because the cake is still warm. I have used the yellow buttercream on the inside because it is much tastier and you can't see it. Also note that the cake recipe that I use is very dense and very moist. This means that when the cake is cool, it is quite easy to cut. It also means that if it's easy to cut, once you put the buttercream frosting on the outer layer, it won't have as many crumbs. Cut a hole in the top layer of the cake for the balloons. This time I wanted a big explosion, so you can see that my balloons are very full compared to the first time that I made this cake, where the balloons were a little bit more flat and had some air bubbles in them, so the blood just oozed out. Next, you're going to add the shortening buttercream frosting on the outer heart-shaped layer. So this is quite tricky and tedious and just takes a bit of time and patience. I definitely recommend the use of the piping bag because this is what gives the heart shape its definition. Make sure to get the point and the tip of the heart on center first. I'm talking about this point right here. And then lastly, you can write whatever you want on the cake. I just write Swift because it is the easiest to do. And that is it. The cake is finally ready to be stabbed. A sharp knife. Are we ready? Okay, that one exploded a lot. So 1 balloon, 2 balloon. Cherry juice has just exploded like all over my kitchen. Would highly recommend that you make the liquid a little bit more viscous. My phone just died that I was filming that with, so I just lost everything that I was filming. Anyway, so I just wanted to say thank you for watching the video. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I still can't believe I have just over 1,000 subscribers, so thank you. I'm going to keep sharing my recipes. So those are my recipes that I have on my blog at simplegreensoul.com. Ziggy is biting me. Why is my cat biting me? I'm going to get up to get away from him. And if there's anything that you want to see on my YouTube channel, so if there's any videos you want me to make, then just let me know and I'd be happy to make them. Okay? Bye.